to today's briefing on the rising tide of pension contributions, how much and when, presented by the American Academy of Actuaries and the Society of Actuaries. With me today is a distinguished panel of pension actuaries representing both organizations. Tom Terry, over here, who is Vice President on the board of the Society of Actuaries. Dawn First, who is the Senior Pension Fellow for the American Academy of Actuaries, and Joe Silvestri, who's the Research Actuary for the Society of Actuaries. I am the Vice President of Pensions, Ethan Crow, Vice President of Pensions for the American Academy of Actuaries and Chairperson of the Pension Practice Council. The American Academy of Actuaries is a professional association whose mission is to serve the public and the actuarial profession by assisting policymakers on all levels by providing leadership, objective expertise, and actuarial advice on risk and financial issues. The Pension Practice Council is one of the practice councils within the Academy, which addresses the issues of pensions and Social Security, promoting effective retirement security programs. The American Academy of Actuaries' role in the actuarial profession is the public interface and policy, while the Society of Actuaries is that of education and research. Describing more of what the Society did in this project, Tom Terry, representing the Society.
Thanks, Ethan, and good afternoon. I'm Tom Terry, and I wanted to say a couple of words about the Society of Actuaries. The Society of Actuaries, as Ethan said, is the education and research arm of the profession in the United States and actually in North America. We're probably the largest actuarial association in the world with 23,000 members in the United States, Canada, and actually 63 countries around the world. Largest concentration, obviously, here in the United States. This work that we're going to talk about today, this retirement research, is a new initiative of the Society of Actuaries. It's consistent with our mission that we be the leading professionals in the measurement and management of risk. And so we're excited to sort of expand our research capabilities into this new retirement analytic area. At the bottom of this slide here, you'll see that I'll mention just a couple of other of our research initiatives so that you put this into a context of the sort of thing that the Society of Actuaries, the research arm of the Society of Actuaries, actually does. This Rapid Retirement Research Initiative, which we'll talk about today, we launched earlier this year. Retirement 2020 is an initiative focused on a forward look of what's possible for the retirement system in the United States. Living to 100 is a symposium that we put on every 2 or 3 years dedicated to issues around longevity and aging populations worldwide. The Health Actuarial Research Initiative is an exciting new initiative dedicated to analytics around healthcare reform. You'll be hearing more about that towards the end of this year. And the Retirement Risk Survey Series is another series of research topics that we pursue related to the particular risks that retirees in our society face on an individual level. Now, I'll say a couple more words about this Rapid Retirement Research Initiative, and then we'll get into this first study. The genesis of this research initiative occurred in 2008. In the fall of 2008, when the financial markets took a nosedive, folks woke up and said, wow, this is significant. What's the impact on the private pension system? We in the actuarial profession looked around and scoured and said, gee, there's nobody out there with an answer to that question. Folks were pulling out backs of envelopes and kind of sketching out potential for what it might mean. And we undertook the notion of being able to sort of say, as a profession, we want to be able to answer that question. We want to have that capability to sort of understand these sorts of impacts. And so that led us to develop this research initiative, the intent of which is to provide timely, data-driven research to the public and to policymakers. Now, our focus is both U.S. and Canada. Today's, obviously, we're going to talk about the U.S. private pension system, so we're going to focus exclusively on that. Joe Silvestri, whom you'll meet in just a few minutes, is our dedicated staff actuary at the Society of Actuaries who led this research initiative. So you'll meet him, and he'll tell you a little bit more about how this research effort got off the ground. But let me turn it back over to Ethan, who will walk us through today's agenda.
Thank you, Tom. Today's briefing will first provide a short description of today's environment of the DB system and how we got there. We'll discuss some of the data and modeling that the Society did to project over the next decade as to say from where we are today and how we got there to where we expect to be over the next decade based on good actuarial modeling, and the rising tide that's being projected of expected contribution demands on the system. Today we'll also discuss what it means, what the potential implications are, what the possible reactions are of different stakeholders, how they each may view it from different perspectives. And we'll explore areas for future analysis. We're going to ask that you hold questions for the Q&A period at the end because many of the questions you'll ask may be covered on subsequent slides. So that just to keep the flow going, we're going to hold questions till the end. A little of the background. The Pension Protection Act of 2006 was the largest rewrite, most significant rewrite of pension funding rules in this country since the enactment of ERISA in 1974. It had many other major changes to the pension system, but the funding was a total upheaval of the entire approach that had been done until then. And the expectation was that plans would be funded and in good shape within 7 years after the effective date. And then we got hit by whatever you want to call it, the recession of 07-08, the financial crisis, the financial meltdown, dismal market returns. Not only did the plans not make the expected bogey, the expected return under any benchmark, whether it was a yield curve or expected returns, many plans lost substantial amounts in the market. There was also a significant decline in interest rates, which has the effect of increasing the liabilities. In response, the government gave temporary, underlying word temporary, funding relief. The IRS gave interest relief in 2009 that affected the 2009 contributions. WERA, the Worker Retiree and Employer Recovery Act, and the Pension Relief Act, 2008 and 2010, also provided deferrals of contributions. All these did was defer funding requirements. They did not eliminate funding requirements, and the additional amounts will have to be paid back with interest to the plan. So any amounts deferred are not forgiven but are just delayed to a future year and are paid with interest. And with that, to go through more of the details and what we found, I'll turn this over now to Joe Silvestri and then Don First. First, Joe will describe the research into the expectations for the next decade and what they found. Thank you.